Any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, George Mason, credit to George Mason and Coach Paulson and his team. They're off to a great start this season. In preparation for them, it's easy to see they're a connected group right now. They're well balanced. They're good on offense. They get the ball to the rim. They're timely with their 3-point shots. They have the ability to get to the rim and put pressure on your defense, get to the line, from a free throw perspective. Like their guard play, they have big wings. I was looking at their bodies, as the tip was going up, and I think our wings right now are a little bit younger. Theirs are maybe a year older, and I'm hoping that I'm looking into the future when I see our wings, a year from now, if we can get our bodies a little bit bigger. Obviously, I thought Dimitri had an excellent game. When he catches it around the rim, his teammates and coaches feel that he's got a really good chance of making a basket down there. So he's becoming a reliable, scorer for us, and he's improving on defense. He did a good job of walling the basket for us at times. And, the key to the game, certainly was the beginning of the second half. Our guys fought, even though we weren't very clean in the first half. I felt like our defense was pretty good, giving up, 31 points, and there was a couple of second shots that got away from us that, they ended up, putting back, and we forced a miss, but we didn't block out, and it was kind of on us. One was Meech's, when he contested in the lane and, turned and went and got the basket, and the other was Dan's, in a short corner jumper, with number 11 there that, kind of came back to him, and then he shot it right in the basket. So those 4 points were, important for them, and what was a bad start for us to that half, getting down 9-0 and, not feeling very good at that time. For us to battle back was important. We weren't able to do that against Georgetown to kind of enter the game in our last one. So, the theme of the game for us was urgency. We were urgent, in the first half, midway through to the end, and then we weren't as urgent, to start the second half and ready. I thought we looked a little lethargic, and they attacked us. Their press certainly bothered us. Certainly we prepared for it. We had to switch our press offense midway through, right after we turned it over a couple of times. I thought we did a little bit better, from then on, but, we got to be better with the ball. We got to be more responsible with the ball. But, there's some good things that we can take from the game. We have one more prior to conference play beginning. We've got to get healthy at this point and, try to, use this time off and use the January time. We have a big break with school to get better, and that's the focus right now, is for us to improve our team. But George Mason's good, and I'm excited for them, and the season, hopefully that will continue the way that it is for them.
Questions?
Coach, I know you've been really, really banged up, so you have guys playing a lot of minutes and stuff. What are some of the good things you've seen in the non-conference that once you get healthy, you think you can take into your conference play?
Yeah, I think we have good guard play, and we have a good balance of our front court as well. I think we've got both. We just haven't had a full complement, of our roster at this point. So what we were expecting to be a really deep and experienced team, and with the additions of guys like this, we felt like we'd be very versatile. I think that's the word I would use. Like we haven't even practiced, in practice in the last month and a half with he and Dan playing at the same time. And tonight I just did it. And so they haven't practiced together at all. They play against each other every day. And so, I think that's a lineup, that we may have to use, now that Max is out. There's certainly benefits. Dan guards as well as anybody on our team. Meech can certainly guard the 5, at our level. And, I think we've got some good guards that we can put out there. We got to get RJ healthy. He got dinged up in practice. It's been one of those years where it's like we can't practice because every time we practice, somebody gets hurt. And hopefully it's nothing. But we'll know more, once we come back from Christmas. But I do think the versatility of our team, could pay dividends down the stretch. But, we've got to mentally get there. And, it's hard when you're taking some losses and guys are in and out. They play one game and they don't play another. It's hard to get some continuity. And so that's who we are right now. We can't shy away from it. We just got to keep working and keep hoping that we'll be healthy at the end for sure.
Forgot to ask after the Georgetown game, what is Max's issue at this point?
Yeah, he's just injured right now. Yeah, I mean it's day to day. We're gonna see what happens. With him, he's had a rough go when you really think about it. I mean he lost his redshirt year last year after playing 12 games, and then his year just ended. In the first semester, which is tough. And then he got hurt over the summer, so he didn't have a whole summer to prepare and get ready for his senior season because he hurt his pinky, and he had to have surgery on that, which was another 3 months. And he was kind of rushed back in, and we saw some progression there. I mean, he had a good game over at Towson, and he started getting a little bit better, but he just dinged up, and so a little snake bit there. But we'll know more, as we get into January, kind of where things are going to be with him. RJ's obviously an important piece for us in terms of taking care of the ball and just being, that steady guy and defender too. He would have been able to compete against those guys on the wing today physically. He's a really good defender. He wasn't great against Georgetown on offense, but he was pretty good on defense. I mean, McClung had 8 points in that game. A lot of that was because he was on them. So we need to get him back.
Dimitri, third game in 7 days. Did you get some exhaustion setting in?
I mean, we're kind of used to going back to back playing games. I'm not really tired personally, and I think that right now we just gotta take our time off. It's probably gonna benefit our bodies, but as soon as we come back, we just gotta get to it and work even harder, trying to figure out how to win. And I trust the coaches, I trust the teammates and the veterans. They're on this team, and right now I'm learning how to win.
Dimitri what did you run, a 5 mile? What was it? When we tested you guys at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
He was like second on the team. He and Dan, my two centers, were like in the 5s.
Yeah.
He's in shape.
I'm in shape. I'm good. Trying to take care of my body, from nutrition standpoint, and lifting on days off, and just trying to take care of my body. I know it's going to be a long season, and they depend on me, so I know I have this responsibility. So I'm glad that coach trusted me to put me in a game, and every single day giving me some confidence. So
yeah.
Ryan, game against Georgetown, starting out of the gates down 12-0.
Yeah.
Today 9-0. Are you concerned about?
Yeah, absolutely. We're concerned about that. We've talked about that in the locker room, and that's why urgency was the word, that we used. We've got to make sure that you only play so many games in college, right? I mean, if you're lucky, you get 31, regular season games if you play in an exempt tournament, and you got to be ready to go. I think today was part nerves, part just being a little bit unsettled, and when teams come out pressuring you like that, I thought we were a little bit casual, and we can't be casual. We've got to attack. Our best teams have always attacked, and I think that's a characteristic of a team that we're trying to create, and it's just not there right now. And so the guys know it, and we're constantly talking to them about it. I mean, every possession has to matter, and you have to give your best on every play, but you also have to be freed up, to be able to make plays. And otherwise, if you're tentative all the time, you end up turning it over more than you would if you just went. And so there's a balance there, and we're trying to develop that balance. But yeah, they punched us right away. We punched back. In Georgetown, we didn't really punch back. We got back a little bit in the game, but they were really impressive. That guy had 32 and 17 today. The big guy inside. Told these guys that y'all had him to 22. So.
Anything else? All right. Thank you.
All right.